Hey everyone, welcome to the episode of the Product Marketer Masters podcast. Today for our guest, we have Lisa Swanson, the CEO and president of the Better Business Bureau of Central New England. Lisa, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I think just to get things started off, as most of our viewers know, we talk a lot about how business is evolving in 2025 with the hype of AI and how it looks like it's going to go into 26. But the BBB is a little different, right? So how have you guys evolved in 2025?
Well, as I mentioned to you, I just started on June 2nd. So I'm fairly new to the role and to the BB. And that's a trick question because so much of what we do revolves around the business profiles on the bbb.org website. And the way those business profiles are set up, they're set up so that AI and SEO really captures a lot of that information. So it actually helps our accredited businesses, as long as their business profiles are complete, show up in searches and when you generate responses through AI. I think that the biggest thing that I've learned since I've been here is that the Better Business Bureau, with over 100 years of consumer and business marketplace data on that interactions, we are a wealth of information, and AI actually loves our data. And we know that that AI is here to stay. So at the International Association of BBB level, there's been a lot of work to make sure that we are current in the way that we will be reframing our website, looking at how to make it easier for consumers to do those reviews, report scams, and really service our accredited business community.
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of intense projects coming up.
Well, and with AI, we're all about trust, right? And trusted voices. And that's where the reputation and credibility that people have come to depend on when they see the BBB brand. So AI is an interesting issue because you want to make sure that you're using it ethically, right? And so in other parts of the country, the BBB has become a resource and a trusted voice on the ethics behind AI and how to use AI to strategically promote and advance your business. My mentor is actually the president and CEO of the Colorado Springs Better Business Bureau, and he's been doing a host of programming on AI as well as like an AI summit. And we're looking to bring that programming here to Central New England and really leverage what's available throughout our system at a very local level. And that's one of the keys for the Better Business Bureau as well. So.
Awesome. So it sounds like you guys are doing a lot of AI education for businesses and consumers both.
Yes, and ourselves, we need to stay up on it, right? And the fact is it's here to stay. And AI is, last time I saw a presentation, which means it was outdated the minute it was given, AI was going to be smarter than Einstein. I think that was marked to be maybe next quarter, but maybe it's already happened. And so the fact is we need to figure out how to use AI to free ourselves so that we can do the more strategic, creative work that AI cannot do, because we are humans with attributes that are important and distinguish us from computers. However, those very monotonous tasks that really depend on accuracy that sometimes a computer can do better than a human brain. Calculators were invented for a reason. So AI is here to help us get to the next level of our creativity and our strategy when it comes to business. When you look at the careers that are going to be diminished, or if you look at the careers that are going to become more popular in the future, it's about how to use the information. It's about how to use the power of AI so that we can be more efficient and accomplish more, not so that we can be replaced by machines, but so that we can think differently and more strategically and honestly have more fun with the work that we need to do. At the same time, maybe we don't go crazy looking at numbers and trying to proof things line by line. That's a task that AI might be able to really help us save time.
I look forward to the automation of all my mundane tasks.
Well, you still have to check it though. That's the whole thing, right?
We're not there yet, but down the road.
Yes.
So are you guys utilizing AI right now in the BBB?
Well, we're all utilizing AI in everything we do, right? We utilize AI every day with our phones. I think that there are some service aspects that benefit from AI. For example, we have live chat options, which helps consumers and businesses get the answers that they need when our offices may be closed, right? Or when you're searching online. So that's something that we're already doing. Also, in the way that we've set up the back end of our website and our data, and our reporting, our integrated systems, those are ways that AI is able to help us integrate the data. So,
Awesome.
yes. And actually, my mentor has, it's about the AI, not just agents, but it goes a step beyond that, right? So, feel a little bit like the Jetsons, although I might be aging myself in what we're going to be looking forward to.
I think that'll be pretty exciting as we continue to see strides with AI coming out as well. Now, earlier when we were chatting a little bit, you talked about how you guys handle complaints from consumers or its businesses one way or another. Do you guys utilize AI at all to help, I guess, sort the complaints or handle the complaints?
Truthfully, Cody, I am not exactly prepared to answer that question. But what I can
That's
tell
okay.
you, well, because I'm not sure if any of our BBBs are doing that or not, because really the thing that sets us apart is that it's real people who are vetting the reviews and the complaints and making sure that they're actual interactions, marketplace interactions, and that they're valid complaints. And then we're helping to mediate those issues, whether it's an accredited business. We offer free mediation to our accredited businesses when it comes to resolving complaints. So that is not an AI function with the Better Business Bureau. In fact, it's something that really sets us apart, and that businesses appreciate that there is a person who's making sure that the reviews and the complaints that show up are also valid. It's not just somebody with an opinion and a laptop that's slamming their employer because they had a bad day or somebody was rude to them. It's much more about actual factual marketplace interactions.
And that makes perfect sense. And, I think that human touch is definitely very valuable to have too.
Yeah. Now, the part that at some point AI might be able to help with is identifying when somebody might send a written review or complaint, identifying some of those keywords that would invalidate it. That is a way that I could see AI coming into play. But as I said, that really is not my area of expertise in the organization. So I shouldn't speak for that.
That's perfectly okay. And in your, since you've been there since June, in your last 5 months, how would you say that you guys are able to resolve, let me rephrase this question just a little bit. In order to get those complaints resolved and have meaningful interactions between the customer and the business, how do you kind of ensure that happens?
So we do have a team here. We have, our trade practices and consumer information specialists, one who's focused on our non-accredited businesses and another one who is focused on our accredited business complaints and reviews. So when it comes to issuing or resolving a complaint, we reach out to the businesses to let them know that you have this complaint. It's important to respond, and we help to mediate that. We'll follow up on behalf of the consumer. We'll call the consumer back. And, oftentimes there is a resolution that happens. And so we pride ourselves on trying to reduce the time that it takes to resolve those issues and those complaints.
Awesome. And with your interactions between businesses and customers, I'm sure you've seen a lot of different challenges around. What would you say is one major challenge that a lot of leaders aren't prepared for yet coming into the new year?
Well, Cody, I'm not sure. So I thought when you had invited me onto the podcast, you wanted to talk about, the integration of sales and marketing, for example, and how that makes organizations more effective. So I'm not prepared for that.
No, and that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay.
Truthfully, if you really want to dive into the scam tracker and, the complaint process, I would be happy to set you up with somebody else in our organization that could give you more information than you'd ever imagine about that. And I think that would be really valuable. It's not fair for me to actually comment on that.
Sure. No, and that makes perfect sense. So then pivoting away from that just a little bit more towards your role and in your last 5 months, what would you say is some of the biggest learnings that you've had so far?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that these are earth-shattering learnings. It's really about common sense in, again, building that marketplace of trust and credibility. And I say that because it's about relationships, right? All of the decisions that we make really are about relationships. And so what I really enjoy doing here is making sure that we're going back out into the community. We're really focusing on our service area. We're making sure that internally we understand the value propositions associated with accreditation, that we really as a team understand the full range of products and services and programs that the BBB has to offer. What's our relationship with give.org and charity accreditations? Because honestly, the biggest thing that I've learned is I scratch the surface and I find 20 more things that I need to know about what it is that the BBB does, because it goes so much further than the accreditation and the business profile, or about, if you have a complaint or you want some resolution, call the BBB, they'll help you. Those are surface level. But when it comes back down to, success in business in general, it's about being clear on what your goals are, and then rallying your team with the shared common mission, vision, goals, and really leaning into what skills people might need to learn in order to be more effective at their jobs, and really making sure that we know who our accredited businesses are within our communities, and also the other business resources. Because one of the best things about working at the BBB is I get to be a collaborator, not a competitor. So instead of competing with any variety of business associations, nobody else is in the same place that the BBB is, that middle ground between consumer and businesses. And again, over 100 years of experience and data that backs up those marketplace interactions. So I would say that the biggest thing is back to basics, credibility and trustworthiness. It never goes out of style. It's more relevant than ever as more people are getting scammed on their cell phone or email, especially with Giving Tuesday and the holiday season coming up. It's more important than ever to really think twice before you click on anything, and to really educate yourself as far as how can you protect yourself as a consumer and as a business owner, to make sure that you're not feeling rushed into decisions that really, quite frankly, aren't right for you. They're probably scams, because if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And nothing replaces a person and a personal relationship.
No, that's very fair. And I think you're right on how a lot of scams are going to be happening this season.
Already are. Yes.
If you had to give your top 2 tips for businesses to increase their trustworthiness and that relationship with their consumers, what would be the top 2 tips you would give?
Well, we have 8 standards of trust. But if I had to say the top 2, it would be to do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, right? That's the basic premise. You don't lie to people. It's truth in advertising. It's truth in the way you live your life and you work your business.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Follow through is immensely important. I would say in every end of business that I've seen, follow through is I agree, is what kills things or makes them happen.
Well, and it's so tempting right now with social media and all of the shiny pennies that we see that we think we need to follow up on, because everything, if you do it well, is going to increase your bottom line. But the fact is, most people bite off more than they can chew. So start with what you can actually handle, lean into the relationships you already have. Make sure they're solid before you start expanding beyond your immediate circle, because we've all seen businesses grow exponentially and then they end up having to reduce their locations or their staff because they grew too fast, right? So BBB was founded on, truth in advertising, and that has a lot of tentacles that play into the basics, right? So.
No, that's really good points. As we are nearing time and we're wrapping up, Lisa, the last question I have for you is, if you had a magic wand, what would you make or have to make your job easier?
Oh, well, I feel conflicted because this needs to be an ethical conversation, right? But
I don't
if I had
recall
a
ethics
magic
being
wand,
mentioned in here.
if I had a magic wand, I would clone the proactive, tech-savvy go-getters, whether it's me or me and a couple of key people. I would clone the people who enjoy what they do, and they pick up the phone and they follow through and they plan the events. And I would have a lot of clones of that high intensity, highly effective person working on my team.
I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah. I mean,
Nice.
making every day twice as long, that's almost the same, but it doesn't seem as good.
No, for a lot of things, I can see why twice as long would not be helpful.
Right? No, I think that we all need more resources and more support to really keep up to date and get ahead in today's competitive world.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
That's
Lisa,
why
thank you for
AI is
coming on
so
the show.
important.
You're right. And hopefully it is able to make those advances where it can't clone us, but it can still help us be more productive and efficient and work hard.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Lisa, again, I appreciate you coming on the podcast call today. And that's all the time we've got.
Okay. Well, thank you, Cody. I'll look forward to seeing how you wave the magic wand and make this look extra special.